OK, it's going to be plenty soft enough at Sandown, but we've got some decent action there. And the highlight of the meeting is the 225. It's the 32 red Tollworth novices hurdle, a race obviously that down the years has thrown up some really decent animals. And there's some good horses in this, and no mistake. Frank, take us through Paddy Power's latest betting.
Yeah, Western Rider 6-4, Kalashnikov 2-1, Montes Avelloir 13-2, Sussex Ranger 7-1, Somerville Boy and the Russian Diane are both 14-1.
And of course we expect Sussex Ranger to go to Chepstow, so there's likely to be 5 runners here and a bit of a shuffle in the morning. But as things stand, DJ, who do you think will win this?
Oh, this is, to me, this was over early on in the week. I think Western Rider is as solid a favourite as you're ever going to get. And I just go to that Supreme Novice Hurdle market and I just can't make head nor tail of it.
It's amazing, isn't it? I was saying this to someone the other day. You've normally got a few horses coming into it that, you know, it's begun to take shape. Here we are in January and it's all up in the air, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Frank Hickey is obviously the most revered British odds compiler in Paddy Power's office. And I want him to explain to me why on earth is Clayman taking Forgan 8-1 favourite for the Supreme Novice Hurdle and Western Rider is 20-1. He finished ahead of him at Aintree behind Lawler in the Aintree bumper. He was just behind them at Cheltenham when 5th to Fayonnet. He's come out since and he's won arguably the hottest novice hurdle of the season so far at Cheltenham when he beat Lawler and Somerville Boy. And he absolutely, as regards for the Tollworth tomorrow, he's assured on heavy ground. He won a heavy ground at Chepstow. You know, he's won on, like he's got form on soft ground in his bumper days. And I thought when the going got tough at Cheltenham the last time, I thought his jump was brilliant. He absolutely flew the last under Richard Johnson. He won going away, going up the hill. To me, he's the best novice hurdler I've seen so far. Maybe not as good as Apple Shakira in the 4-year-old division, but he's as good as I've seen as a novice hurdler. I think he could win the Supreme, and I don't think he'll be 20-1 after the Tollworth tomorrow.
OK, Frank, what have you got to say for yourself then? DJ thinks you made a massive rick here on the Supreme.
I'd lay the 20-1 myself, to be honest.
Why?
You're going to get this.
He beat Lawler, right? Lawler, yeah, he won the Aintree bumper. Beating an extra, giving a bad ride. Beaten by Mr. One More. By, what was it?
But Clayman taking Forgan as favourite.
Yeah, it's in his favourite on the basis that he's probably trained by Nicky Henderson's a tremendous record in the race. He's finished ahead of him in the champion bumper, third. Obviously, as we know, place horse in the champion bumper actually have quite a good record in the Supreme. He's won his
behind him at Aintree.
Relatively impressive. Pardon? What happened?
He was behind him at Aintree.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was ahead of him at Cheltenham. Where's the Supreme ran, Dave?
Yeah, but there was only half an length behind him at Cheltenham.
Yeah. I'm not saying the Supreme market is a solid market. It's really much crying out for one horse to take it by the throat, really. But I'll tell you this, it's not Western Rider who's the horse is going to be taking that Supreme. I can guarantee that.
OK, Frank, so what's going to... Shut up, DJ, shut up!
Just one more thing before you go on, right?
God, what?
Clayman taking Forgan is 8-1 favourite. If the cap fits, a second favourite at 10-1. And Western Rider finished in front of both of those at Aintree.
Go on, DJ. Frank, humour him with an answer.
But it's not a flat race. It's jumping. Like he's won at Chepstow when he looked in trouble against Bang On Frankie, who's bang on average. He unseated Stratford. He's won at Cheltenham. Granted, if you tell me that's the best 2-mile novice race run all year, that is far from it. I'd say you've got a right good bunch of handicappers in there and nothing more.
Well, here's the point, lads. Given what they've all achieved in this race, according to Racing Post ratings, if Sussex Ranger was running at the weights, Racing Post ratings would have him £8 clear. Yeah, no, £12 clear. £12 clear.
It's a particularly bad year in the Supreme. Everyone's looking at it going, what can you find? Now I can see David makes a point about the bumper form for Western Rider. Do you think he's probably a bit big? Potentially he is a bit big at 20s. Would I back him for the Supreme? No.
OK, so Frank, tell us what's going to happen tomorrow then.
Look, he's favoured and justifiably so. I have always had a soft spot for Kalashnikov. I've put him up a few times. We don't know how good he is. He could get outclassed here tomorrow. But until he gets beaten, I'm willing to follow him until he gets beaten. He's impressive in his bumper. He's been extremely impressive twice. Albeit he hasn't ran on ground this heavy, but he did win at Wetherby on very soft ground first time out over hurdles. Now, again, that wasn't a very strong race, but he's won by 10 lengths. He beat Irish Prophecy 10 lengths at Doncaster. That horse let the form down a bit at Kenton, but he was badly hampered 3 out. So it's very difficult to gauge exactly how much, like, where Irish Prophecy fits in. But until he gets beaten, I'm going to follow him in, and I'm going to back him tomorrow.
Okay, and Keels, what do you think?
I think it's between those two, to be honest. I haven't really got much right. I don't think Kalashnikov will have any problems with the ground, and I think he might actually be favourite with a more well-known, high-profile trainer as well. I think he's a very nice horse. I do like Western Rider as a horse. I think he's tough and game. Whether he's got the class to win the Supreme is another matter altogether. But I like the pair of them. I'd be leaning towards Kalashnikov, but not with any great confidence.
And if I gave you a free £20 bet on the Supreme now, Keels, who would you back? Tough, isn't it?
I wouldn't have the faintest idea.
Wouldn't have the faintest idea. Okay, in that case, let's move on to the 3:35 at Sandown.
3 o'clock.
Oh, sorry, the 3 o'clock. You haven't done that. Of course, we can't not do that.
True highlight.
This is Keels' race of the year so far, isn't it? Of course, it's the 32 Red Veterans Handicap Chase. It's the final of the 2017 Veterans Chase Series. And by the way, whoever came up with veterans races all those years ago, well done. It's a fantastic innovation. Got really good race here. Keels has backed at least all the field at least 5 times throughout their careers.
Yeah, and some.
And he's going to go first, but before he does, Frank's going to give us the betting.
Yeah, Gasline Boy is our favourite of 4-1. Perfect Candidate and Ben Benz are both 7-1. Third Intention, Double Ross, Ublon Des Beau, Pete the Feet and Cloudy 2 are 10-1. Boywise 14-1 and we're 16-1 Baron.
Keels, I bet you'd love to be in the paddock and give them all a nice pat, wouldn't you, first?
Football, I won't be able to give them a nice pat, but I'm intending to be tomorrow. Yeah, I just can't wait. I love these horses. Isn't it great that these horses can run with 60 grand?
Yeah, superb.
Against each other without some 7-year-old coming in with £25 in hand. It's wonderful. I love the race. And it's seriously competitive. And of course, I've got loads of old favourites in the race too. The one I came down on the side of in the weekend earlier in the week was Cloudy 2. He was 5th in the race last year. He's hugely better off with the 4 who finished ahead of him, who were Peter Feet was the winner last year. And I thought he ran well enough. I know he got beat 30 lengths in the end by Chaser Spud at Haydock and that. But, Chaser Spud is one of the favourites for the Welsh National now. The second won next time, and the 4th ran really well next time. So I don't think it's that bad form. And it just looks to me like, given the way he's dropped down the weights, he's just been primed for this because it's a massive prize to go for. He's got a bit of back class. He's won a Peter Marsh Chase. So I think he'd go well. I will be having a couple of quid on my old fav, Houblon Des Beau. I
was going to say, yeah.
Who is now coming here instead of going for the Welsh National because he was in both and he would have run in the Welsh National a couple of weeks ago. Slight issue with him is that he does virtually all of his winning in smaller fields. The times that he's run really good races, he was third in the Welsh National last year, tends to be on a wide open course when he can get a good look at the fences because he's only small. But he does love heavy ground, and if he can get into a rhythm, I can see him going well as well. Can't argue with Gasline Boy being favourite. It's very rare that you get a 12-year-old that's running the best races of his life now, as he is, and he has on his last 2 starts.
And if you could give one of these horses a polo mint and a carrot as a way of thanks for all the faves he's done you down the years, who would it be, Keels?
I would have to say it'd be Houblon.
Houblon,
yeah.
Excellent. Keels is all misty-eyed because he loves these old beasts. DJ, are you a fan of the old vets?
Kind of, not really. I wouldn't be going on the way you are going on about them, but yeah, they're grand. The funny thing is, I was going through this race during the week and I actually got a bit of a shock, and I don't know if listeners will, when you actually say there's 61,900 to the winner. I kind of just presumed to be 20 grand, 30 grand, but that's a hell of a prize for these horses. And now it kind of makes sense. I'm sorry, Paul, but I fancy Cloudy 2 too, because it actually makes sense, because you go through his last couple of runs and it just looks like everything has been geared at this. The last time at Haydock, when he was third to Chase the Spud, it really looked like a horse that was just getting cherry ripe for an event. It was the same, like he started off over hurdles at Uttoxeter in October. I think he's dropped down to quite an interesting mark. He's rated, what is he now, 129? Like, go back not that long ago, he was up to 140 in this race last year, when he was 5th. And he was beating 14 lengths that day, but he made a really bad mistake at the last. He was really awkward and he kind of jumped it out to his right. Yeah, and he kind of tired up the hill. Yeah, he kind of tired up the hill after that. He's really well handicapped. And when I saw the winner's purse, it all makes sense. I'd say Cloudy 2 has been aimed for this for a long time.
Can't believe how callous you are to all these old warriors, DJ. How come they don't tug at your heartstrings like they do ours?
Well, I think it's more an Irish versus British thing. Like when many clouds died, I was disappointed, but I wasn't devastated. And the same with Nichols Canyon. They're horses, they're animals, they're not people. And I suppose you do get an affection for them, but I don't fall in love with them.
Fair enough. Miserable bastard. Frank, who's going to win the vets?
Would you believe it's a full house? While obviously I have a soft spot for Gasline Boy, I think Cloudy 2 is just too well treated to ignore here. He's £11 lower than last year, when he wasn't disgracing fifth, and I think he can go well. And it's a decent price of 10 to 1. I think you can back him each way. You should get involved at least. Okay,
3 votes for Cloudy 2 in the 3 o'clock. Let's do the 3:35, which is also on ITV4. It's the 32red.com handicap hurdle. 2 miles on the heavy. Call Me Lord for Nicky Henderson is the jolly, Frank.
Yeah, he's 3 to 1. Our Merlin and Clayton are both 9 to 2. Hurricane Hollow 7 to 1. Ravens Tower 8 to 1. Drop to Jupiter 10 to 1. And we're 12 to 1 bar.
Are you with the sponsors tomorrow, Kills?
No, I'm not, mate.
You're just wandering around,
with a couple of mates, yeah.
Oh, so by the time we get to 3:35, you should be a few
I'll be in the
pints
Guinness
in.
bar, I'll be pouring it down there.
And hopefully Cloudy 2 will have won you a sack of money and you'll be able to press up here.
Exactly,
so who's it going to be on?
A massive press-up race. Well, I put up gas in golf in the weekend. I didn't realise the ground was going to be as heavy as it is. I still think he can run well. He's run well in 2 Imperial Cups round here. He's been placed in a couple. He ran no sort of race last time at Ayr, but he almost certainly needed it, like a lot of Kerry Lees did. I think he can go well, but the more I look at it, the more I keep coming back to this Our Merlin, who he's won his last 3 for Robert Walford. I mean, he started on a handicap mark of 86. The last time he won off 100. But I think he's won by an aggregate of 50-odd lengths, and he's just cantering clear. He's 123 tomorrow. But
he's the new To Be Fair or Hump Ball, is he?
He's booked John Joe O'Neill to take 7 off that. He'd have still won doing handstands if he was £16 higher last time. And I just wonder if he is just miles ahead of his mark.
Our Merlin for Kills. Who for you, Frankie?
I'm going to stick with Gas and Golf. He's a very good Sandown record. Brian Hughes is booked. Obviously, he needed the Ayr race. He didn't run too, there wasn't devoid of promise. He was there until about the 3rd last and then just stopped, which suggests he needed to run badly. If you think about it, he's been placed in 2 Imperial Cups off a mark of 1:21 the first time and 1:32. He's here off 1:22 again. It's a very good mark with Brian Hughes booked. He should handle the ground. I think he'll go well. He's a decent price at 12 to 1, and he's still only 9. He's not like he's ancient. I think he can go well at the price.
Who do you think will win, David Jennings?
I actually thought the favourite would win, Bruce. Call Me Lord. He was 9 to 2 and 5 to 1 earlier on in the week. He's 3s with powers now. He's the type of horse I thought might even be a bit shorter. And I think he loved the ground. He won on heavy ground at Compiègne when he was in France. James Ricou rode him. And the form of his Sandown win from the end of year meeting, it's worked out really well. Dallas was 2nd and Fiddux was 3rd. It was a proper handicap hurdle. And you can kind of forget his return at Huntington. It was on quick enough ground in the middle of November. He was really keen, and he never got a clear run. It was really funny on the home turn. He was badly hampered just before the home turn and made a mistake at the 3rd last, and nothing really went right. I still think he went off odds on that day of 143. I still think he's well handicapped. He obviously likes Sandown, and I think he likes the ground as well. So I'm going to give a pretty confident vote to Call Me Lord.
Subscribe to Members Club Ultimate and access unlimited video replays from all 86 racecourses in Britain and Ireland.